putting kids in sports at a young age is a great thing because it helps them become whole people.
You want it for them to feel it. You want them to have the experience of a positive and a win, so they can see the result of everything they're doing.
Sports is always a team sport, but it becomes an individual sport when it comes to doing your job. My mindset was to be the best.
Maybe an outsider would say I'm putting a lot of pressure on my son by doing all of these activities, but I'm saying it's just preparing him for when he's a young adult.
I think competition matters.
Sports is something it builds self-morale, it builds an identity within that person, it teaches them to work with others, and it helps them as far as they go out in life, as far as competing, because anything you do in life, you're going to have to compete.
I'm hoping sports and chess just give them a little bit of killer. Needs a little the sense of how to just get the job done, kind of whatever it takes mentality. I hope sports, competition in general, can deliver that.
Well, they suggested soccer is one of the sports I should do besides baseball, and I thought it sounded good, so I decided to try it.
We wish there was even more pressure. Actually, I think it's great. I wish the pressure didn't come from us as much, and that's hard to prevent, because I'm glad he feels pressure.
I help my team by trying to not let them steal the ball when they're very close to the goal. Usually I just skip the ball out of my closet and just dribble around the house and try not to bump into anything. Because the furniture that I'm trying to avoid are the defenders.
We just want them to stay with it, really. I just want them to have the sense of team and I actually really just want them to feel how it is to play your hardest,
We were at y'all's game when y'all won your first game. Tell me how that felt. What was going through your mind?
Excitement.
You're happy. How do you feel when you lose?
Like I could have done better.
There's that great kind of honesty that happens in a game where someone wins, someone loses, little battles get won and lost. It's just really clear what's happening.
He's always been above the 95 percentile in his height and weight. So I thought as a parent it would be in his best interest to get him into sports. He started playing soccer when he was about 3.5.
I go to basketball practice, I come home and eat really fast, and I have to go soccer, then goalie training, then I have to take a shower, eat, read a book, then go to bed.
He's doing a lot for a 7-year-old, but he keeps saying that sports is something that he wants to do. So this is teaching him to put in the work, and the reward is him doing well on the field and in class. It shows him that the hard work is paying off. I just want him to give 100% effort, and as long as he's doing that, there's no pressure.
I was in gymnastics until I was in the 9th grade, so 13 years total. I started first with the parent and taught classes, and then I did 1 day of recreation, and that one day the competitive coach came and picked me up. She said, "No, you're in competitive now." Our coach made it really clear that this was a competitive sport. The amount of training that we did, the amount of hours we put in, she made sure that we were on top of our game. The coach definitely put a lot of pressure on us, especially from a young age, but we just kind of got used to it as the years went on. She would say, "Get going, do this right, or I'll hit you over the head with this wooden stick." She called it Uncle Sam. She said, "Don't make me bring Uncle Sam out." she'd hit us. Some days they were definitely worried, especially when I got injured or I was really sore, tired, or crying. They wondered whether it was a good idea to have me in such a competitive sport. But most of the time they were really supportive, especially if I was having a bad day. They would cheer me up, bring me ice cream. It really made the sport a lot easier. The most memorable moment would be the bonds with my teammates, especially after a long workout. Everyone's sore, everyone's tired, everyone's usually crying, but because you're in it together, it made it a lot easier. So just that family sense, it made it a lot easier. It was in the 9th grade. I did a year where I did track and gymnastics at the same time, and that's when I really found I really liked the sport of track and field, so I decided, all right, I'm gonna quit this love of gymnastics that I have and try a different sport. Right from the beginning, I was breaking records in triple jump and long jump and stuff at just like low-level school meets, but I really thought that, all right, I can take this jumping to the next level. I think there's a lot less pressure for track. I know going into training, I'm not gonna die, hopefully. Going into gymnastics, I was always scared, all right, I could break my neck today. Let's hope I don't. For track, it's a little less intense. It's not necessarily easier, but less scary to me. Being on a team is great, you know. They help you during training, they pump you up, they get you excited. It's a lot better than just training by yourself and showing up to a meet by yourself, because you've got like almost a fan base. Everyone's cheering for each other, everyone's supporting each other.
It's really good because we push each other, and both of us being natural competitors, we want to be the best, so we're going to go out there and do 110% because someone's there right next to you. So.
It kind of made it a little bit easier, I guess, because they're, you know, when you start dogging it a little bit, they're right there, like, come on, Tina, like, you got to finish it, let's go.
Yeah, basically.
I really want to make a international track meet for Team Canada. That's probably my ultimate goal right now.
Highsmith rushed for a team-high 50 yards in Miami's national championship victory over Nebraska, the beginning of what would be a great Hurricanes career.
He's a tremendous competitor. You know, he wanted to be the very best and really worked that way. He was one of the best workers that we had on our football team, and without question one of the real leaders of our football team with all the success that we had.
He was such a hard-working young man. I mean, he just worked so hard in the weight room, out of the weight room, of course in the classroom, and it really helped him as far as his success and the team success. He was probably the best fullback in the country, you know, his last 2 years in school.
He'll drop it off on the screen, and this is Highsmith, a good receiver coming out of the backfield. Breaks a tackle, comes across the 40, trying to get the corner turn inside the 30-yard line, and almost broke it all the way.
And my mindset was, if Alonzo is best at what he does, it'll help make the team better. And that was my mindset as far as teamwork. And if you're not willing to compete, if you're not willing to sacrifice, if you're not willing to do extra, you won't be successful in anything you do in life. So I always want to teach my kids, I'm not raising you to be the best football player. I'm raising you to be the best you can be. And I hope my kids took that advice, and I hope they learned that being successful wasn't defined by touchdowns or anything like that. It was defined by who you are as a person, your work ethic, and what you leave with others to remember you by. It gives them more confidence when they go out on the road and they have to work, they have to compete, they have to do things on time, they have to be able to do what they're told to do. And that's, I think, one of the good things about sports is when you're a young kid is learning to listen, learning to do what your boss says one day. When you have a job, you're going to have to be there at a certain time. You have to work at a certain level, and that's what sports does for young kids. It teaches them how to do the right things. One thing we can do is sometimes parents get a little bit overambitious for their kids. You can't live through your kids. You can only teach them about the sport they're doing, or whatever it is, math, sports, whatever endeavor they're doing. You can teach them the virtues of that sport and how to be good at it, but you can't want it more than them. And I've always said that if I want it more than my kids and my kids don't want it, we're wasting our time. And that's what I learned through this whole process. I wanted it. I didn't want it for my parents. I wanted it for me to be good at a sport. And I think any kid who plays a sport has to want it for themselves first.